Alright, moving to this task, which is related to normalizing the data. I'm going to explain about these three types or four types of normalizing the data. And let's start about the first, unnormalized form. So normalizing is basically, it's a technique we're going to use it to remove any duplication or reduce it as much as possible in the relationship of the database. It's going to make it more efficient and remove the redundancy, which is the duplicated of data, and also going to make sure that only related the data is stored inside those tables. So first form, actually we're having like up to 5 normalizing form, starting from 0 up to 5, but according to our syllabus in A level for IT, we're going to start with 0 normalizing form and then 1, 2 and up to 3 only. We're going to cover only these 4 normalizing forms. So let's start with the 0 normalizing form or unnormalizing form. In this type of unnormalizing form, you're going to find just one flat table like you see it in this activity, and that flat table is going to contain so many duplications. Like you can see there are duplicated data, like York is repeated twice, Jane Smith is also repeated twice, and there will be even more repetitions. It doesn't need to be only 2 times, it could be more than that. So that's one indication. And another indication, as I mentioned, it's a flat database. Flat database means like Excel file could create flat database which has no connection between the tables. So this is one indication. The third indication, you're going to find non-atomic data in it. What I mean by non-atomic data, that means the data is going to be combined within one field. It, like for example, if you had a look at course, in course field we're having multiple data combined inside course. Like for example, computing should be belong to another subject, for example field. Mr. Brown, this could be the instructor, he's supposed to be in another separate field. Room 53, so 53 is supposed to be in a separate field, which is indicating the room where the course is going to happen or taking place. So these are some indications for unnormalized form. So that's the first thing. As you have a look, you should indicate these points and you will tell that this is unnormalized form. Okay, now we're asked in this task to create first normalizing form, second and third. So I'm going to go through this first, second and third, and I'm going to explain to you the points how it is happening. So when we're going to convert this table into a first normalizing form, let me first show you the table. So we're going, first of all, going to put non-atomic details into atomic fields. You can see we separated the course. We didn't used to have course ID, but we put the course ID. Let me have a look. Yeah, we did not have any course ID, but we put this ID over here to separate it and make sure each course is unique. And then we separated the subject and we put it into a separate field, a teacher for each subject, and the room as well that were mentioned. Okay, so you can see non-atomic fields have been divided, and then the rest of the points. So for the name, we had name over here. If you had a look, the name also got divided. So we want always, it's recommended, the names always to be first name, last name, or you can also write it as forename and surname. So the names have been separated, the house as it is, but we added a primary key. So you can see here the differences we added. So let's talk about the features of first normalizing form. So in first normalizing form, you're going to store it still in a database, in one database. And then there is going to be a primary key or a unique key added to each table. We here have added 2 primary keys. After that, main point is we separated the non-atomic data into atomic data. So each field have a unique name. So you can see here now when we separate it, we made sure that names for each field are separate, like room, teacher, subject, they're not repeated names. And each record become now unique. If you had a record here, maybe also here we didn't have any repeated records, but here it's very obvious that, for example, let's have a look at the first student, Jane Smith. You may think these 2 records are repeated, but if you had a look further, you're going to find that this subject is different, and the second record, the subject is for maths, and different teachers and different rooms. So that's another indication for second normalizing or first normalizing form. And another thing, there are no repeating groups of columns. You can see each column is unique. Okay, so these were the points related to the first normalizing form. Now, from this table, we have to make it into a second normalizing form. So let's check the second normalizing form. In second normalizing form, we're going to start to divide this table into smaller tables, okay? And let's have a look. So the first table, I got it. It was for the course. So this course ID and its belonging, like it's related or depending tables like subject, teacher, and room. That's the first one, and notice it has its own primary key. Second table is for students, and it's depending fields like forename, surname, and the house. And the third table, you will notice that in second normalizing form, I have two strong tables, but there is no connection between them. So you can see course is not connected to this student. How will I know that this student is taking this course? For that purpose, we usually add a link table. Link table, which is having student ID and the course ID, which is a primary key of both. We're going to take the primary keys and link each course ID to the course to the student. Of course, you have to refer back to these details in case to create this third table. Okay, so those were the points related to second normalizing form. One point is to notice that I noted down over here that in second normalizing form, we usually have own primary keys. And these primary keys, as I mentioned, they are not linked to each other. That's why we need to link them by creating a third table. Okay, now we're done with the second normalizing form. In the third normalizing form, which is the most important, sometimes in past papers, they're just going to ask you from zero normalizing form, create a third normalizing form, which is not too difficult. Actually, it has its own features or points. And what we're going to do here, we're just going to break it down into smaller tables, each strong with its own primary keys. So let me start with these tables. So you're going to find that I separated the teacher ID into a separate table. So teacher ID becomes separated with its own primary key and related fields, teacher and the room the teacher is going to teach in. And then another table for students only that's going to contain student's name and its first name and last name and the house. Of course, if teacher name is available as first name and last name, you may also go and divide it into two separate tables for first name and last name. Again, you can see there is no connection between teacher ID and student ID. And the third table that we got it, and which is the course table. So course table is going to be linked with subject, and we're going to create one more column, and that column is going to be linked to the teacher. That's going to be teacher's ID added over here, which is going to be called foreign key. Why did we link it with the teacher, not the students? Obviously, teachers are going to be linked with their own subjects because they are mostly not going to be changed that much. Unlike like students may change. That's why we cannot directly link it into here. Another thing, it's one-to-one relationship. That means one student, one course will be for one teacher, or maybe some cases it could be one-to-many relationship. Okay, so you can see here what we did in the third normalizing form. We separated into smaller table. We separated the course and another table for teacher, and third table was for the student. And then you can see the fourth table is going to be as it is, which is going to link the student and the course. As I told you, there is no link between student and the course, but there is a link between teacher and the course. So for the student and the course, we're going to use the same table, which is going to use both primary keys, and it's going to be called the link table. So these are the indications, the points that you're going to use it to create each step its own normalizing form. I have one more example also to explain it to you. All right, I have this example that I want to explain it to you to understand more about normalizing. So look at this table. You can say that this is a zero normalized form. That's because, first of all, it's a flat file. It's just one single non-atomic table, and it has a lot of replications. we can see over here, you can see over here I have the artist name and artist ID. Leave that, it doesn't indicate that much. Venue ID also, that's fine. Concert venue, there is non-atomic data over here. For example, you can see the venue and the location of the venue. There are non-atomic data combined within one field. And then you have agent name. Agent name also supposed to be divided into two sections, which is first name and last name. For the artist name, it's more like a nickname, so we cannot divide it. Like for example, Jimmy, the Delights. These names cannot be divided into two names, so that's why I'm going just to spare artist name. I am going to focus on agent name, the concert venue, and the location that needs to be separated. Alright, so these are the points that I am going to separate them. So as you can see, we're going to separate these and these as well. Okay, so it's going to become into the first normalized form like this. You can see I got concert venue and concert location, and then first name for the agent and the last name. That's the first normalized form. I have IDs for each of them, okay, and there is no repeated fields, no repeated columns, and no repeated records as well. Okay, each record is unique and each column as well is unique. Okay, for the second normalizing form, we're going to start to divide it into tables. Okay, for that you can notice that we can get artist table, venue table, and another could be for the concert table. So you can see the artist table, I got one, venue details, and the artist booking as well. That's going to be our linking table between both of them. So you can see here the artist details, and the second one, the venue details. There is no link between this table and this table. I cannot link between this and this. Okay, so in order to link between them, I used the artist ID and venue ID. And what I added here is an extra step. I created a concert ID, which is going to be a primary key for this table. And then I added the concert details, more to make it like a transaction table, not just a master table or static table. Okay, now to move to the third step, we need to divide it into smaller, stronger tables that are linked to each other. So you may notice here in this table, I have one more point that I can divide it, which is the artist details and the agent details. So these also should be separated. As you can see here now, artist details separated, agent details are separated, but to link between them, I have added the ID of the agent into the artist details. So this become now a third normalized form. So that's the end of this task. I'm going to move to the next activity, which is I'm going to explain further about normalizing, and I'm going to normalize the next activity as well. So see you in the next activity, and if you have any further questions and further comments, you may put it in the comment section.